Fairfax County, Virginia is offering parents a choice between partial in-person and online and full-time online learning. Michelle and Jonah Goldshlag decided to homeschool their 9-year-old son and send their 11-year-old daughter to school for 2 days of in-person learning a week.
Main factor there was that she really draws a lot of energy from her classmates, and she's very close with a lot of her classmates, and she really just, I think it would have crushed her to not be able to see any of them next year.
But this decision did not come easy to the Goldschlags.
The transition to online learning was difficult, and I would say that her voice was lost a bit in the digital classroom.
We don't have anybody who's at high risk in our household, so that was one factor. Our families don't live particularly close, so we don't see them tremendously frequently. So we think the precautions seem very reasonable in terms of limiting the number of students and wearing masks and the not having recess and all those other things that they're doing.
Maryam Ayromlou, mother of 2 who lives in the same district as the Goldschlags, chose 4 days a week of online learning for her son. Her teenage daughter wants to go to school, which makes Ayromlou anxious.
And I worry about what to do with my parents who are in their 70s and 80s. And similarly, I know there are other neighbors who have told me one is a doctor and she doesn't want to expose her patients to further risk. One has a husband who has a heart condition.
Teachers can also decide whether they want to teach in person or online. At first, Moran, who teaches French in a school in Arlington, was eager to go back to the classroom.
As I thought about it more and I read more of the data about what we know about COVID-19, I got really more nervous because I imagined going into the classroom, and I imagined children not wearing the mask all the time, taking it off, and that I would have a chance of getting the disease. And then I thought about the other people in the building who might be at higher risk, the school bus drivers, the custodians.
Arlington School District has opted to go from part-time in-person to full-time online learning. Moran is convinced that the online learning experience would greatly improve this fall.
Every teacher I know is spending their free time in the summer planning and researching how to do this.
At the same time, some schools in Virginia are ready to open full-time.
And we also have very rural school divisions in the southwestern corner of the state, other very rural areas where there hasn't been the level of infection that we've seen in more populated areas.
Schools that offer in-person learning are developing new procedures for children and staff, including mandatory masks, lunches in the classroom, and limiting contact games.
Our school divisions have to file 2 plans with the Department of Education, the State Department of Education. One plan is about health. How are you going to mitigate the risk of the coronavirus? How are you going to sanitize the learning environment? How are you going to practice social distancing for students and staff? The other plan is about instruction.
Similar preparations are going on all around the U.S., with school districts, administrations, schools, principals, teachers, and parents making their own choices. Some metropolitan areas like San Diego, Los Angeles, and Atlanta opted for full-time online learning. Tetiana Voroshko and Lesia Bakalets for VOA News, Fairfax, Virginia.